Stan with 3D PT, and for this project I wanted to make a name badge that has magnetic backing on it and lights up. And so this is actually done with what are called paper circuits. And if you've ever seen this before, you could actually use conductive material like copper tape or stainless steel tape, and it goes through it's called a lily pad LED, which is sold online by a company called Chibonics. And so I'm not endorsed by them, but they sell these packs come in either colored packs or light up packs, and you'll also need they sell either stainless steel fabric or copper tape. And the way it works is you complete an electronic circuit, but instead of using wires, you use this conductive fabric. And it goes through the LED and lights up. And so you could actually make paper circuits with this. And the advantage of this is that the material is actually secured to the paper, so you don't have to do any soldering, and it sticks together. So that's a big thing for like learning electronics, is just trying to deal with soldering and screwing that up. And so I actually did the same thing here to wire the circuitry for this. So let me show you that. So the backing and nameplate are printed in Polylite PLA Natural. So this, when it's printed thin, gives a very clear color. But you notice right here at the nameplate, you can barely see the name. So actually, see if I could do this one-handed. Tell it right there is where the print is. Use a Sharpie or any sort of alcohol marker to mark PLA. And so this cavity here is for the battery, and you can lay out whatever electronics you want within this space. And this space right here is actually for the magnetic backing, so you could buy those in bulk. So for this space here, it's for the magnetic backing. So you could buy these off Amazon, and they have a little double-sided foam backing on them. And this space just offsets it a little bit inside, so it's not sticking out as much. It sticks out. And I have holes here. I could use either filament or M2 screws to hold this together. I'm just using the rubber bands that you saw earlier to keep it all together temporarily. The positive one is going to go on the center, and so I'm going to cut a strip about this long, then have it go into the battery cavity here. And a trick with some of this, the fabric tape is a little harder to work with. So if you hold it and like flick the corner, that loosens it up, and then you have to use a box knife to carefully peel the tape. The copper tape is actually a lot better for this, but I'm putting the steel conductive material down first, because this makes a good base. And I'll have it go in like that. And this will make connections on the battery terminal in here. Now, as I do this, I want to make sure there's enough space between here to make sure that the LEDs can make contact with both sides. And so next I'm making the negative terminal, or the positive terminal that goes around. So this does not go into the battery cavity, but it does come to about here. So I'm going to cut a couple of those, and then 2 short pieces. And when I cut this, I'm also going to cut it at an angle, and this makes it easier to take the tape off. And where the corners meet, you really want to work those down. Make sure they're really worked in, because there is a conductive glue between underneath this, but sometimes if you don't work it in, it won't conduct over those weird spots, and that's the problem I've hit with the LEDs, is if they don't have a good base or good connection, then they're not very conductive. So my experience with these LEDs, they come in a little 3-pack of stickers, and there's a little marking on each one to show you what the color is. Now you can notice here there's 2 contact points, and if you look closely there's an LED in the center, and off to the side is the resistor. So we can't cover those up. We have to make sure that all our contacts work with that. My experience is you get one shot to get a good stick with these, otherwise the adhesive comes loose on them. So this one I'm going to get a couple different colors, so let's see, red, yellow, and let's see, yeah, let's get the purple out of this one. Try not to throw them all over the place because they're a buck a piece. And let's do a blue. So I've got a red, yellow, purple, blue. So carefully take all the ones you're done using, put them back. So now that it's laid out, make sure the corners are pressed down and the LEDs are pressed down on the base as well. And I'm going to go and reinforce the top. And what this does is I've noticed that the contacts work better over the top than the bottom. And you kind of have to sandwich the LEDs between the two. Also, the copper just looks better, so when you look at the badge, especially through the plastic, you'll be able to see some of the wiring, which I think is cool. And take your time, because the copper tape, same thing, get really one good pass at it. So you can measure it just like this. This is nicer, you just flick the corner and you get that off. Try and handle the sticky side as little as possible. And go over the LEDs like this. And then repeat for every part. you're done, you want to make sure to press this all down, especially at the corners and over the LEDs. Normally make sure everything is connected and conductive. So you could actually take like a pin, just rub it in. And make sure everything is nice and secure. So for my test piece, the positive is wired to go along the outside, and it goes through the negative part here into the negative terminal, and I made this little paper hold switch for the light. What this is going to do is it's going to go over the battery and be connected here. So this will be for my negative terminal going this way. And make sure there's definitely a lot of pressure put onto the lily pad LEDs to make sure they conduct. And so I'll show you how to lay out the wiring on here. Now with this paper circuits, you could actually change this wiring any way you want. And there's plenty of ideas both on the paper circuit site and as well as what your budget will allow. Don't know how many LEDs this could support. I think 4 is giving me enough light for showing off and for what I need, but it's up to you. So after a little adjustment, just have to really kind of press on these sometimes. All the LEDs work. So all the material I used, I'll include in the instructions, but here I've got a magnetic backing, and I got these in bulk on Amazon. 2032 battery, copper tape, LEDs, and so cost on these, the backing was 20 cents, battery is $1.75. And this is probably because I got it from the grocery store, so if you buy them in bulk, they're definitely cheaper. These LEDs are really specialized because they've got the LED and resistor built into them, and they're designed to work with this kind of tape. So you could run it probably on other LEDs, but for these special kind of lily pad LEDs, they came out to $1.25 a piece. So I spent $5 in LEDs right here. PLA was about 10 cents. Copper tape about 53 cents. So total for this whole badge comes out to about $7.58 USD, as well as an hour print time and about half hour to assemble all this. So I made this badge for the Rocky Mountain RepRap Festival, which is coming up actually in about 2 weeks now. And so I'll have the instructions for this posted on Teacher Paid Teachers. And the file I'll release on Tinkercad. All the links will be down in the description below. And so this way, whenever people want to ask my name, I could just go boink. And I'm probably going to adjust it a little bit. I'd like to make a little switch here. Because the paper circuits do have a switch you can make. And I just didn't have a chance to buy one of those little click slide switches. But you could always have fun making your own light up badge, and you could always change the layout of the LEDs to different locations around it. So if you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe.